Hi, this is Katie Gamble with my friends Charlie Kuhn and Chris Smith for another episode of Clarksville's Conversation, where we come together to discuss things going on in town and tell you the stories behind the people, the stories you might not otherwise get to hear. So, Charlie?
Yeah, Katie, we talk about Clarksville a lot, but our area with Oak Grove and Christian County, there's so many cool things going on. And one of them is Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel. And, I've been out there a few times. It's really kind of cool. It makes you feel like you're in a different city completely. But today we're going to talk to Mr. Darold Londo here, and he's the head guy out there. So welcome to our show, and we're excited to learn more about what you do.
It's good to be here, Charlie and Katie and Chris. Thanks for having us. We're very excited to talk about this cool place in Oak Grove, so thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What I like to ask people that, especially when Katie and Chris may not know you as well as I do, but what brought you to our area? How did you end up in Clarksville?
How'd you end up here?
In this area?
And maybe I can make the connection with you at the same time. So Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel is owned by Churchill Downs Incorporated, home of the Kentucky Derby, obviously. So Churchill Downs owns a number of properties around the country that involve some form of horse racing and gaming. So we're among the newest. I was going to say the newest, but another property just opened up in North Kentucky. But we think we're the coolest, the flagship property, if you will. So we're owned by Churchill Downs. Churchill Downs started looking at this area a few years back for a place to offer racing, an equestrian center, an amphitheater, a gaming facility, a hotel, real nice dining experiences, and just a wonderful opportunity to get out and about in the Oak Grove area. So we say so Vegas, so close, because as you suggested before, when you walk in, you don't feel like you're in southwestern Kentucky. You actually feel like you're in Vegas somewhere. Yeah. So a lot of cool excitement there. So the opportunity with Churchill Downs, brought me here. But I was particularly interested in this area because of the proximity of Fort Campbell to the facility, and Nashville, of course. Clarksville being the best city to live, according to Money Magazine, in 2019.
He did his research, huh?
So there was a lot of reasons to come here. But Fort Campbell in particular, I have two of my three children wear the nation's uniform. Yeah. Officers, United States Army. And myself was a former Army aviator. Yep. So just like being around soldiers, like being around active duty locations, wanted to get back and be directly connected with the military families, organizations that support the military, which is how I met you as part of the AUSA organization. So I think I connected all the dots there.
You did a great job.
I was wondering how you two met, because Charlie seems to know everybody.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's easy when you have somebody like Darold that he comes in, he's got this big operation out there, but immediately he jumped into the community to try to help, to give back to soldiers, and I know you're on some MAC committees and some stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So he's just willing to jump in there and help out.
The nice thing I like, and along those same lines, to find an organization that shares your values.
Yeah. Right.
So Churchill Downs, not is only into the horse racing industry, not just racing, but everything to do with horses in Kentucky, but the communities in which they operate. So they're very interested in being supportive of community-based organizations in the communities in which we get our guests and team members from. So we chose 5, Clarksville being one of them, Hopkinsville, Oak Grove, Fort Campbell, and just the greater Christian County area to identify some organizations that we could be directly supportive as an organization and encourage our individual team members to participate. Fort Campbell's obviously one that I have a natural affiliation and affinity for, and as a former officer to be directly involved with organizations like AUSA and MAC. Yeah. So that one was easy, but the USO, the Spouses Club, I mean, there are several others that we're involved with as an organization. So, and that's to give monetary contributions to, direct dollars to allow them to use our facilities and do other in-kind contributions. but to also participate,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, I do, on boards, on committees, or just to do volunteer hours for these organizations. They're always looking for help. So we've got 340 team members that live, out and about in the community, and most of them participate in these types of activities. So it's good.
Well, I moved to Clarksville 15 years ago, and I did exactly the same thing. And that's how you get in there. You meet people.
Yeah.
I've always said, this community will give back to you what you give to it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and it's a very welcoming community.
Exactly what we say. We hope we give all things considered. We actually give more than we take.
Right.
So it's a net win. But anyway.
So why Oak Grove? How did this operation end up locating in Oak Grove? What was behind that decision?
That's a great question, Chris, and I think it goes back a few years when I think you probably have to know a little bit more about the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission and what they were looking for, the sites that might have been available, the communities that were interested. I think the stars aligned in Oak Grove.
Mm-hmm.
If you know Mayor Jarvis in Oak Grove, a wonderful advocate for the community. She was out looking for opportunities like this to bring into the city. So I think, that opportunity met simultaneously with the impulse by Churchill Downs to be looking in this area. I think Oak Grove was as excited about us being here as we were about coming. So I've been involved now for about a year, and I've felt nothing but terrific, support and outreach and what can we do for you to open, to operate, to acclimate, all those types of things. And I will say, having done something similar for about 15 years with another entertainment organization, when you're trying to get into a community to do good things like this, that welcome mat isn't always out. You're trying to convince the community that this is good for them, as opposed to the atmosphere that we experienced when we got here. So it's competitive. There's lots of I know there were a handful of operators, organizations like Churchill Downs that were interested in being here, not necessarily in Oak Grove or Christian County, but somewhere in this part of the state where the Racing Commission wanted to let the license. So, yeah.
You said the word experiences. And when I think of experiences, you've mentioned Vegas and these other places, and I felt like when I first walked in your doors that there were many experiences I was about to figure out. You've got multiple dining facilities, and you've got gaming, and you've got live music, and of course the racing. So tell us a little bit about kind of what's going on out there.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
No, yeah, it's terrific, and very happy to, because at the end of the day, it's all about really good, we call them amazing guest experiences, for people that come there, because, you have to go to the grocery store and the gas station and the bank. You don't have to, to spend your discretionary money in an entertainment environment like us. So we want you to, to be attracted to that, come, have a great time, and feel good about the decision you made. So, yeah, we do have gaming. So if you like that type of Vegas gaming, I think you're going to like our product, because you can't find it anywhere else close.
No, you can't.
You can't. So you actually have to go to Vegas to find some of the latest and greatest in games. So we do have that there, but it's a $200 million investment by Churchill Downs to build a facility. And if you're just looking for a night out to have a great steak, you can't find a lot of good places to eat in this market. But we modeled our steakhouse, our offering, the experience, the wine list, the quality of the steak, the service, off of the best places, in the region, not just in the immediate area. So we think you'll be pleasantly surprised there, and at a very favorable price point. So it's good there. But we have a hotel. We have 128 rooms hotel. It's a 4-star, legitimate 4-star, 4-diamond hotel. We've got a 2,200 square foot presidential suite. So, and anything from a classic king to 2,200 square feet, if you need that much room to unwind and open your bags. To live entertainment every Friday and Saturday. We've got a terrific environment in the gaming facility, enough space on that stage for an 8-person band, and we typically do get them from all over, including Nashville racing. We have an equestrian center the size of a football field indoors. RV park, amphitheater, which we're hoping to tune up this summer with our first act, probably sometime around Memorial Day. And there's a couple other food outlets. Dark 30 is a coffee house. We have Lucky Lime and Sgt. Pepper's, where you can get Tex-Mex hamburgers and those types of things. So, yeah, there's no shortage of things to do.
It's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and in a very positive environment. And of course, we've had the luxury this year of bringing on, like I said, about 340 team members from the community. We only recruited, and I know this number because I just went over it today, 15 people from outside this market.
Wow!
So I went around the country, went around the different Churchill properties, and stole some talent, if you will. But the other 300 and whatever the math is, 25 people we got from right here in the area, Clarksville, Oak Grove, primarily, and introduced them to the gaming environment. But we looked for certain things I always look for: an upbeat and positive attitude, in hospitality. That's critically important. It's absolutely necessary to create a loyal guest, to make sure that people have a really good experience. So everything, if they had that, everything else we'd teach them.
Yeah.
And that's what you'll find at Oak Grove.
You can't teach them the it factor.
You can't teach them that. You can't teach people how to have personality, how to love serving other people, how to facilitate a good time. You can't teach that. So you got to look for it. And if it's not there, we pass.
Yeah.
Where are things in the sort of the rollout of racing? I know there's been some exhibition type stuff, right? But I mean, like, what's next, I guess, in the rollout of racing at the facility?
We actually have had 2 live meets, Chris, this year in 2020, the first one in 2019. And, it's a, for lack of a better term, a boutique meet. So it's harness racing. And in that industry, the owners, the horses, the drivers, the trainers, they move around the region and race at different facilities. So it's important for the association to coordinate schedules, so we're not on top of somebody and causing, a group to choose us over somebody else. So we coordinate that, and we this year we'll have 20 dates where we'll have racing in October and November, and that will be pretty typical going forward. So we've had call them trials or whatever. We've had 2 meets, the last one of which, obviously ended in November 2020, was very successful in terms of the participation, the attractiveness, from the industry, from multiple states, and the size of the purses were very attractive. And we just expect that to continue to grow.
Yeah. So if I want to come, is there a website I can go to see what those dates are so I can plan?
OakGroveGaming.com.
Okay.
Information's always available for that, but you'll have to wait. It's about 200 and some dates for the next race because it's next October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hey, it'll be here before we know it, though.
It will be.
But we have a Kentucky Derby coming around, hopefully in May this year versus September like it was last year. So
I assume you'll host some kind of events out there, right?
Yeah, get your
Isn't
big
that on
hats.
May 5th usually?
That's the first Saturday first Saturday,
okay.
May. Yeah. Yeah, so get your big hats and your fancy dresses and your mint juleps, taste buds ready because
Charlie, I think we should go because I would really kind of enjoy wearing
I
a hat.
have some really nice pastel jeans that I'd like to wear.
I would rather not have.
Chris is laughing, but that's actually a fact.
Yeah, all of which are tastefully welcomed, during Derby.
That's the fun thing about it is you can just go crazy and wear something you wouldn't normally wear.
Yeah.
And so that's why I want to go. I like to play dress up. Let's do it.
Yep.
I made my own hat last year.
Did you?
It had flower. It was a straw cowboy hat thing that had a bunch of flowers coming out of it and had butterflies in the flowers, and it would be goofy any other day of the year, but I was looking really stylish that day.
I'm serious.
At least I thought so.
It's gonna be fun.
Well, when you talked about how many employees you have, 340 employees, it always makes me think of growth. What's next, and are there more opportunities out there for people to be employed by you guys?
Yeah, we in our initial pro forma, we had penciled in 400. I think we've, obviously we're handcuffed a little bit right now. We're handicapped, if you will, because of COVID. We're not quite as busy as we would have expected to be, but for COVID. And everybody understands that. Nobody's going out as much or traveling as much as they would have otherwise. So, when this thing lifts, and hopefully that'll start soon and be gone by July, I hope.
I'm with you. I hope too.
So we'll have other opportunities, and we'll fill out the team, if you will.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But good job. I mean, really good jobs. I mean, really good jobs. And of course, we've got about 70 members of the management team. So supervisor, manager, directors. We have accounting positions, HR positions, IT positions, technical positions on the gaming side and for the facility, and then just a whole bunch of service jobs. In the steakhouse and beverage servers and gaming attendants and cashiers and things like that. So we're a mini city all in one.
Oh, yeah.
All
I
in
was
one
actually
package.
thinking of that description when you were talking about it a while ago. That sounds like a little city.
Yeah.
And you had me at wine list.
Well, I think one thing that's important to know about your business out there is you don't have to be a gaming person to come out there to enjoy what you guys have. I mean, everybody's looking for a good place to eat, someplace you've never been. Just walking around that place is just phenomenal. I've got my player's card.
Awesome.
I'd say that. But,
Awesome.
I think it's just a good experience to get out there and see something that's completely different than anything we have in our region, for sure.
To that point, most people that come aren't gamers. Matter of fact, we just did a survey of guests in November, and we were surprised by the percentage of people that said, I don't consider myself a gamer, and I don't really go to gaming establishments, but man, this was a really good time, and we like the fact that it was it's new and it's clean and it feels safe.
All that.
And the team members are friendly and helpful, and smoke free and all these different types of things. So the results of that survey supported your comment. So, but thank you for that.
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Well, I definitely know that when the announcement came that you guys were coming, there was a lot of excitement around the community. So people have been excited about this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was kind of like the talk of the town for a while.
Aw.
Did you hear? So I have some friends that go to Vegas pretty regularly. I'm going to call them and go, hey, have you been here yet?
Yeah.
So, because I bet they have.
One thing to that point, Katie, one thing that we do get when gaming facilities are new to a community is, the crime and, drugs and all these types of things. And, criminals aren't bright necessarily to begin with, right? They don't do the smartest things, but you're a real dummy if you decide to commit a crime in a gaming facility. I've got over 700 cameras, and there isn't a nook or cranny of that facility that isn't covered by at least one camera. Mm-hmm. So you might do it, but you're going to get caught, and more than likely before you leave. So there's high deterrence there, and just and not to mention the security officers that are walking around, watching for things, and so it just doesn't happen. I guess is the
I
point.
have never heard anyone go that angle like that would bring crime. Everything I've ever heard was people excited about you guys coming, excited to have something like that in our community. And so I've only heard positive things.
Yeah, good. Well, and that's the truth, but it's the myth. It's the people have never experienced it before, so they just assume, after watching some show on TV about a gaming facility somewhere, Ocean's 11 or something, that happens there. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's a fun environment if you like that type of energy, for sure.
Well, we sure appreciate you coming today and shedding some light on what you do and just sharing
with us.
Sharing with us.
Well, come on out and check us out. It is a terrific environment, and especially on Friday and Saturday night. I think we've got another one of those coming up tomorrow. We've got live entertainment that starts on stage at 8:00, free, no charge. The bar is open, as Tom Cruise would say, in cocktails.
Hey, if I play, do I get free drinks? Is it the same way? I'm joking. I'm joking. I was just saying,
No, it's common in gaming facilities to do that, but in Kentucky we can't give alcohol away. Okay. You actually have to pay for it. So, but we're pretty modestly priced.
I was actually joking about that anyway. I was playing with you.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure. Hey, thanks for having me.
It's been very
absolutely.
good.
Thanks. Can we